I just wanted to say that the video that I just dropped was less than 8 minutes. Now for you guys that probably means nothing, right? But that means that I can't make any money off of it. So for this video, hoping you guys double, well not double, I guess like triple hit the like button, because if you do it double then it's like you like it then unlike it. So I guess triple like the video. Leave a comment, and this is going to be a grand discussion about the man that you see on that screen and his new wife, Iris. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cash, and today's video contains Fear the Abyss, which end up leaving the community pissed and is 100% MFO. What I'm going to be talking about today is ways to counter the current meta. Now the current meta is a little bit of a little razzle dazzle there. I'm just going to go to team, and I mean, I don't have all the meta units, but it's pretty much this with a little bit of this. Gale, of course, as we all know, Gale is a big part. let's use semi units, right? I actually, wait a minute, I have FC Annie. Where's my Rara? My ghetto Rara? What do I mean ghetto? This is the original article of Rara. Can't find her though. There she is. And we need our battery. Our official battery. So this is the team comp that a lot of people are running into. As we know, like the real team comp necessarily is pretty much this. This is the team comp. So without further ado, I mean, like, it's honestly, if someone is controlling it on manual, they're gonna have a lot of control. I'll link FG3000's video. He did a really good job of showcasing how strong just Annie and Rara are. But the only difference is that when he does this comp here, he's utilizing obviously the work of Iris in the team comp to then utilize, you know, make it a little bit easier. And then he's using Frankie as a means to finish off targets. Now you guys have seen me use Frankie for a while. He's like still one of my favorite characters. As you can see, he has a pretty high score, and I kind of haven't improved it. Actually, no, I just improved it. As you can see, he's actually above Rudley because I just improved his gear, because I'm like, yes, he can come out for free now. And I've also did some PvP, so it's not like I'm copying. I did my video. I was like, yeah, they're the new tag team champions, and they are. So how could you counter this? How could you get around this? First, I think you have to realize that if you're on, you know, there's no RTA, right? So you can pretty much know that Rara is going to snipe a target in the beginning of the fight. She's not going to do her S3, so you don't have to deal with AoE from the beginning of the fight, which is a blessing if you're asking me. If they were to try to do it AI-wise, if they wanted the AI to do it, they would do something like this, where they have Deva do it, and she can deal a decent amount of damage. It's just very low chance that she'll actually get a kill out of it. And also, she obviously won't have that gain all my health back because I have tranquil bullshit going on either. This is also going to pressure people to have a really good battery, so that they could have a slightly worse Rara that has less attack, so it will still be covered under the Rara. It's pretty crazy, right? So what I'm going to be suggesting here in this video, in this lovely video, is a couple of things that I think people are possibly overlooking. So first thing, I want to go into the journal. And actually, I shouldn't go into the journal. I should go into the inventory. Sell 200K worth of stuff. All right, cool. So I think the first thing that people are gonna have to do, in my personal opinion, is definitely either utilize block or dodge. I think that there's some people utilizing like healing. I think healing is a privilege. Healing is definitely a privilege. I think that it's more or less for like PvE aspects. For PvP, I think you gotta go hard in the paint and either go for, you can try to go offensive, but I think you need to go with dodge or go with block. The reason why is just that when it comes down to these comps right now, it's AoE, and the AoE meta is something that people have been super afraid of for a while. So the only way to stop getting crit AoE from the Annie giving that character crit is to either not take the damage by dodging it or by blocking it. Those are the two main ways, and I said this in the video that got screwed over by the power outage, is that there are 4 ways of taking damage. There is I got hit and it took normal damage, I got crit, it got blocked, or it got dodged. So those are the only ways that you are taking damage. And as you guys know, there's two ways of that, of mitigating damage. Now, obviously there's ways of having defense buffs and things of that nature. You can't mitigate that. You can't utilize any of that with gear. So you can't defense buff your gear or something like that. You can have gear with good defense on it, but if you want to mitigate damage that you're taking immediately, gear is the best way to do it. So I think you can go with dodge. I was going through some of the characters in the journal, and not saying that these characters you should automatically put into your team, but I do want to just highlight, you know, some characters that do have pretty high dodge. Now, as we can see here, 110, we can see 110. Who else has 110? I forgot like all of them. I had them all properly laid out for you guys. I think she has 110 as well. Yeah, she has 110. I think Deva also, which I think is always up here, she also has 110. So I think that a good counter, as I mentioned, I think if you wanted to counter a Rara cleave, then possibly you can bring in a dodge Deva to kind of interact with that a little bit. And you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, let's say if you don't want to go dodge, and by the way, half of this stuff is just theories, and in order to invest in order to do these theories, you have to invest into these concepts. So don't just invest into it because I said so. Invest into it if you think it's a good idea. My job here is to give you guys as many good ideas so you guys can maybe make a better informed decision on possibly investing into this stuff. Me personally, I would probably do this because I really want to have a Deva cleave, because if she gets any type of kills, you know, especially after the Tranquil is proc, you know, I can spam the S2 like multiple times. It would be pretty insane. But the only crappy part about it is that I can't put her on like heal to kind of not take damage or stuff like that with Annie. So it's a little bit eh. Of course, the other option would be where's Big Boy? Big Boy Ulum in the building, dealing with characters that have heavy block. Now, of course, like I said this, as we said this before, when you have a defensive team, or we spoke about this in the Coliseum video, having a defensive team is kind of crap because you have a very full defensive team, but you also don't have damage. Now, these characters do have damage. I think Ulum especially has a really good, this 750 nuke for 4 is really, really good. Plus the block is really good. People I think are slowly but surely getting away from using Machine. I think Machine gear set is not going to be as popular. I feel like also the 6 sets aren't going to be as popular, but well, I still haven't seen that work into the game. I think that was the only fault that this meta has brought it into, because it brought in characters to fix the meta, and instead of the break system, which was supposed to be really cool, I feel like no one's really engaging into that yet. It's not really proper yet. It's also possibly more for PvE than anything, but then again, they also put stuff in the PvE that has no breaks. Let's not talk about that right now, because it's gonna... Ooh, let's not do that. Anyway, another really good character I wanted to also bring up would be Janai. Oh yeah, I showed it. I'll go into how I showed this in the other thing. So her base attack is relatively low, right? But I've seen a couple of characters that, like Rara, who has literally two less attack than Janai, and literally has into 3k. The only issue, obviously the biggest issue here is that she does not have a fake core. So when she gets a fake core, she'll be able to really engage in this meta that's currently available. Then you will be able to have a higher attack speed than their faster character, then lower them by, I think it's 25 if I'm not mistaken, 30, sorry, lower it by 30. And if we look at some of the speeds alone, you can run a very offensive team, but until that happens, she needs a fake core to get her attack that high. I've seen her have attacks in the 2500s, 2700s, but I feel like it's a little bit harder without having like one fate fusion and or a lot of investment or things of that nature. If you invest heavily into her, you can do a lot of crazy comps, but right now it's just really too difficult to do so. Or they can follow my system in which you can use a character like Janae, and if you attack break those characters, then you get charmed. But you know, that's just what I want, and who cares about what I want, right? Now, as far as like scFX, like his base defense is pretty decently high. The only issue is that I have seen people get their defense higher than scFX, but it's usually through fate fusions and a lot of other stuff that they can get through that. So it's a really invested character that can out defense him, or a character like who has, you know, a lot more defense on the base or something like that. So usually the tanks might have a little bit of freedom, as we can look at a support. They're usually gonna have low defense too. It's usually, again, a character having a fake core and a lot of investment into the fake core, and then you can kind of have those defenses put up. Even though this guy is slow, FC Tantalo, I really would love to see this implemented into the game. AoE block. I think more characters should have stuff like this. The attack increase is whatever, but AoE block increase would be really strong and really good to see how that would work. Because like I've said before, I think block like mitigates. I don't think you can get a block crit. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Let's look at oh boy right here, just for example, like 268 block defense rate is a 68%. Like I feel like if you focus on getting that really high, I do think that that is a really good way to slightly counter getting absolutely destroyed by Rara's AoE. I think that you can, like I said, block it and then have like follow-up damage. Like Iris, you can obviously kill off Iris. You can try to kill her. I think that that's something that I've tried to do in the past. I just kill off Iris and then you can still run your first Guardians. That's a really good strategy in my opinion if you still want to punish them for having an AoE comp. Especially like I said, you are the person on manual, so you kill off their Iris, you sniper, and then you still run your first Guardians. I do think that that's still possible, especially if you're running Baraka. I think Annie Baraka is a really good one. You just run Annie Baraka, you have the speed. Unfortunately, FC Rara, I think, how much speed does she get? She gets a bonus 32 speed. So, I mean, that's really hard to beat when she has a base speed of 115, which I think is the highest. I always said that she was like one of the fastest characters in the game. And then you pretty much put that to 147. That's really hard to get around, like, especially when, if you look at, like, let's say, like I said, Baraka, right? He's at 115, I think 114. She's already one speed faster than him and then has a 30 speed advantage. Really hard to, like, beat out Rara, right, in order to snipe out the Iris. So like as you can see here, 384, pretty good speed. As you can see, this one's 368, 352. I know that they're leveled less, but you pretty much need to definitely have like the best attack speed, and you probably need some fate fusions on top of that. See, this one is a 3.84, and then this one is a flat 4. So like you'd have to get a lot of speed, and the speed is only going to come from this upper part, these upper things. You don't get any speed here. But that would be the only way that you can possibly get it. I know that there's, I think there's some more stuff like when you go into, I think magical enhancing, I think it is. The game's like, yo, you never went here before. What are you doing? But yeah, that's another option. I just thought I'd mention that as well. So pretty much my synopsis is either go with block or dodge, or if you want to go more aggressive, try to snipe out the Iris and still run a first Guardian based team. By using like an Annie and a Baraka. But like I said, if the AI snipes out, you know, one of your characters with their FC Rara, you're gonna be into deep doo-doo. Of course, you can run Ramsey as well to try to heal block, but Ramsey is not that fast, so you'd have to do it on the second turn, and on the second turn, she's gonna have enough mana, usually to do her S3, so that's a dangerous slope. But let me know what strategies you guys are trying. I think that's the whole purpose I wanted to do in this video. Those are some strategies I've been thinking about, but I'm kind of a dirty AoEer. But I wanted to talk more about the meta, and if you guys think that this is a healthy state of the game. I've seen people say on both sides, they think it's healthy and they think it's not. So where do you guys stand? Do you guys think that it's even necessary to counter this meta, or it's not that big of a deal? Why did you even make this video? And trust me, I already know that that's coming from somewhere. That's definitely coming from somewhere. Someone's gonna say, what do you mean this meta is fine? And then some people are like, this is the worst meta. I've seen it, that everything's brain dead and this is stupid, and why did we get up to this? I do think that it's a little bit of, oh no, my signs are off. I do think that there's a little bit of changing that they can do, not with Iris. I think Iris inherently is fine. I think if people wanted to run like an AoE debuffer, if they wanted to do that, to take away the defense break, and then he'll get those really good shields after it, and then just have someone that can keep cleansing your team AoE. I think you can then still run Dragon Blood. Like, there's a lot of intricate stuff that goes into it, but I was trying to think of a more way of possibly not like character based specifically, but more of a just change your gear up a little bit, which is expensive. It's not something that people can easily do, and that's what I was talking about before in those videos, is that when you change the meta, a lot of people have to change a lot of their resources. They have to spend resources in order to adapt to it. So still very interesting. It's still, I feel like the cat's not out of the bag. It's only been like a week and we're getting a new character, so we'll have a little bit more time to invest into some other units here, because I think most people aren't going to get Glenn. I think that Glenn should have been a gold fake core. I'm not going to talk about that, But all I have to say is like, comment, subscribe. But also, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. And of course, remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.